Imagine yourself in a vibrant Mexican town square, surrounded by marigold petals strewn on the ground, leading the way to a beautifully adorned altar. Sugar skulls, intricately painted, gaze at you with a friendly welcoming smile, while the aroma of traditional food fills the air. You're not in the midst of a typical celebration, but rather, you're stepping into the spiritual realm of the Day of the Dead, a unique tradition that transcends the boundary between life and death. Known as Dia de los Muertos in Spanish, the Day of the Dead is not a gloomy or morbid event, but a lively, colorful celebration of life and remembrance. This tradition is deeply rooted in Mesoamerican cultures and symbolizes a profound understanding and respect for the cycle of life and death. Let's delve deeper into this magical festival, exploring its spiritual significance, rituals, and the deeper meaning it holds for those who celebrate it each year. Whether you're a spiritual seeker or just captivated by diverse cultural traditions, I invite you to join me on this journey of discovery. The Day of the Dead has a rich history dating back approximately 3,000 years to the indigenous cultures of Mexico. The Aztecs, Toltecs, and other Nahua people held the belief that mourning the dead was disrespectful. For these pre-Hispanic cultures, death was a natural phase of life's long continuum. The dead were still considered members of the community, kept alive in memory and spirit, and during Dia de los Muertos, they temporarily returned to Earth. Today's Day of the Dead celebration is a fusion of these early beliefs with Catholicism, brought to the region by Spanish conquistadores. The result is a unique blend of faiths and traditions that designate November 1st for honoring deceased children, known as Dia de los Inocentes, and November 2nd for honoring deceased adults, Dia de los Muertos. Despite the name, the Day of the Dead is not a sorrowful occasion, but rather a time of celebration. It's a time when families gather to honor their loved ones who have passed away, remembering their lives, telling stories about them, and celebrating their eternal journey. One of the most significant rituals of the Day of the Dead is the creation of an altar, or ofrenda. These altars are not for worship, but for welcoming spirits back to the realm of the living. They are loaded with offerings, buckets of flowers, mounds of fruit, peanuts, stacks of tortillas, and big Day of the Dead breads. In addition, family members also leave possessions of the deceased. A common symbol of the holiday is the skull, in Spanish calica, which celebrants represent in masks, called calicas, colloquial term for skeleton, and foods such as sugar or chocolate skulls. Sugar skulls are delicately crafted with the recipient's name etched on the forehead, making them thoughtful gifts that transcend the divide between the living and the dearly departed. Other holiday foods include pan de muerto, a sweet egg bread made in various shapes from plain rounds to skulls and rabbits, often decorated with white frosting to look like twisted bones. Marigolds are another important symbol of the Day of the Dead. For the Aztecs, marigolds were considered the flowers of the dead. Their bright color and strong scent are believed to guide the spirits to their altars. Often, a path of marigold petals is laid out for the spirits to follow. The Day of the Dead is deeply spiritual, serving as a reminder of the cycle of life and death. It is a celebration of life, a tribute to death, and a demonstration of love and respect for deceased family members. It's a time of reflection, remembrance, and connection with our roots and ancestors. It underscores the belief that death is not an end, but a continuation of the journey. For those who celebrate it, the Day of the Dead is a way to maintain a connection with the spiritual world. It's a time to honor and communicate with the spirits of loved ones, to tell their stories, share their memories, and keep their spirits alive in the hearts of their families. This celebration can be seen as a ritualized form of ancestor worship. It encourages the remembering of past generations, and the celebration of the continuity of life. It's a lesson in accepting death as a part of life, a natural transition rather than a final goodbye. This perspective can offer a sense of peace and acceptance towards the inevitable. From its colorful festivities to its deep spiritual significance, the Day of the Dead is a unique celebration. that invites us to embrace the cycle of life and death. It's a time when the veil between the physical and spiritual world is believed to be the thinnest, allowing us to connect, remember, and pay tribute to those who have passed before us. Whether or not you choose to participate in the Day of the Dead, there is much to be gained from understanding its underlying philosophy. In a world often fearful of death, this celebration stands as a beautiful testament to acceptance and the enduring power of love and memory. So, as we explore different spiritual traditions and beliefs, let's remember the Day of the Dead, a time for joy, remembrance, and the acknowledgement of our shared human journey, from life, through death, and beyond. Subscribe to my blog at bijoubisouz.com for free spiritual insights every weekday.